Good morning, fellow adventurers on this journey to understand energy agency. So, I wanted to talk this week about something that happened to me many years ago with an animal. So, I started my walk on the Red Road back in 1999. And I was privileged to spend some time with a gentleman from the Lakota Nation named Floyd Hand. He was instrumental in me getting healing and finding my way to my own energy agency with the wisdom of the Lakota that he shared with me in my time participating in ceremonies and also speaking at length casually with Floyd Hand. So, what was interesting was after the very first ceremony that I did, which sort of brought me into this way, I had a very unique experience with a cat. So, I lived in a little bungalow down in the South, down in North Carolina, and it was sort of winter, and it was cold, and it was night, so it was dark, and I was had a young child and just me living in the house, and I got this sense. I was standing in the kitchen, which was it was the house was a bungalow. It was set up with basically four rooms and a bathroom in a square. One half had a front door that opened onto a living room, which opened onto a kitchen. Then there was a little doorway into a slight hallway to the right, which led to the two bedrooms and the bathroom. So the front door and the back door was in the kitchen. So the front door and the back door basically faced each other, and those two rooms were next to each other. So I was in the kitchen, and I just had this odd sense that I needed to go to the door. I don't know why, but I did. And when I went to the door, I opened it and perched on my doorstep. I had a little porch there, a little covered porch off the front door, and I had a doormat in front of my door, and perched on the doormat, looking very cold, was a cat that was so skinny. I could only describe it as the very manifestation of hunger. This cat, hollow-eyed, skinny, tabby, looked just steps from the end. We brought her in, and we fed her and took care of her, and over the winter she perched in front of my fireplace virtually all winter. We named her Pongos. That's what my child called her, Pongos. We don't know where Pongos came from, but she became a part of our little family there. We had some other cats, a couple other cats. Anyway, so all winter long, and she finally got sort of fattened up, and she seemed otherwise healthy, and everything was doing fine. Spring came. We were enjoying the spring. One day in the spring, she was sitting out on the front porch. I had all the doors open, so the front door was open, the back door was open. My backyard was a fenced-in area that had a little garden right in the center of it, and then a lot of trees and yard around the garden. A little postage stamp garden right in the center. And it was getting pretty grown up already by this point, so it was well into the spring, and there was a lot of overgrowth in the garden. So I'm in the house, and the cat is Pongos is out on the front porch, and I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, out of the blue, this decrepit old cat leapt up and shot through the house from the front, through the back door, through the kitchen, out the back door, into the garden. And we never saw her again. Ever. So I thought I'd do a reading to see who was Pongos. Hold on, and I'll bring you down, and we'll throw the cards. Today, just for this one, because I love these cards, they're easy for me to read, I'll use the Crow Tarot, and we'll use the pocket oracle. All right, hold on and I'll bring you down and we'll try to discover who the heck was Pongos anyway. Okay, I have shuffled the decks a couple times. I will shuffle one more time here and then pull some cards. Try to find out what was or who was Pongos. What was that all about? That cat that mysteriously appeared to telepathically let me know she was out there, then telepathically let me know something was up, and then raced through the house into a garden the size of a postage stamp and absolutely disappeared into thin air. Who was Pongos? Let us see what the deck throws up. Who was Pongos after all? Oh, we got one. All right. They're talking. Cards are speaking. And what about the clarifiers? Who was Pongos? What was that all about? What was that all about? Alrighty, let's see what we got. All right, so we've got 3 of Wands. This is, Wands are passion, emotion, you know, those things that fire us up. When we have 3, we have sort of an agreement, like there's 3, the coming together of 3, you get that unity of passion. So this is about 3 passions coming together, a representative of an agreement of some sort. Very interesting. And that, oops, let's see if we've got these the right way up. Yep, okay. This came out upside down, is the hummingbird. Hummingbird is like that little changing energy that flies through and above and around. It can hover, the way hummingbird can move. So if the challenge for these 3 energies coming together, it appears to me was it was something about they couldn't function the way they were. They had to change form. So that's what that's telling me, is this was represented some coming together of passions, of fire, a unity that was not able to do, it wasn't able to do all the work. So it came in this way to do the work, maybe. All right. What it had control of, strength reversed. So that tells me that it was in its whatever its regular form was, it wasn't strong enough. And that's clarified by soul retrieval reversed. Oh, wasn't strong enough to ground its soul. This is very interesting. In the past, Queen of Wands. This is an internal director of passions. So maybe this is representative of someone that fired the internal passions in the past. So maybe it was representative of the persons that I worked with in ceremony or something. And that's clarified by the corn. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Something that made me grow. That's very interesting. What it could not control was conserving its power. So it must have run out of juice in a sense, as clarified by magic. Yeah, so this tells me this creature was not a cat. This was some being, probably that I met or worked with in the ceremony, that came in, but it couldn't maintain it. There was like a limit to how long it could stay in that form. Manifested. Ace of Swords. Truth. There was, it was trying to bring me some truth about things. And I did learn a lot. I really grew a lot during the time that we had Pongos staying with us. Giveaway. This was a gift from some entity that that identified me in ceremony and wanted to give me a growth, was there to help us. How it sees itself: 6, sailing away to calmer waters. It certainly did help me do that, and she certainly did go. The sun, in the light, in the sun, in the spring, she went back to her safer waters. In an environment of 8 of Wands, this is a lot of passions flying around, so I'm assuming maybe there was some other place this entity had to go do work that was being called to. Flow. Yeah, in the flow. It was time to move on to help someone else. Hopes and fears. This is that card of being seen and heard. And I think that's exactly right. It was critical for me at that time to take the steps, because I never would have gotten healing. I likely would have passed away. I got very sick shortly after this. So, and almost died. But it was because of these teachings and the ceremonies that I knew what to do. And so I did not. And I survived and overcame it. So I think that was what this was all about, to help ground me into this other reality of energy entities and beings on the planet that work with us. It's clarified by the child. Oh, isn't that beautiful? It's like she was protecting my child. She needed to make sure I was there for my child to grow. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful gift. Final outcome is the 9 of Wands. And that is, and it's true. How did things end up? I ended up bloodied but standing. And so did she. We all survived it and we all went on. It was difficult. It was difficult, but we went on. As clarified by the staff, leading away, showing away to get through the difficulties is what that was all about. The Hierophant on the bottom of the deck, as clarified by the Rainmaker. This tells me that this was karmic counsel. This was because of a request I made in ceremony, and they came and they helped me, because that's what they do. Hold on, and I'll bring you up. Oh, like and subscribe if you've liked this so far. Hold on. Very interesting. I do have a postscript to this story. About 6 months later, I was driving on a road that was about half a mile from my house. Sorry, that's that's Tombo. Tombo knocking the camera about. Hey, baby. And in the middle of the road, this was a 4-lane road with a suicide lane in the center, a turning lane, that ran for quite some time. So not a lot of cars were in that turning lane very often. So I'm driving down that road, and there, in the center of the turning lane, sitting in exactly the same configuration that I first found her on my front porch, looking every bit as skinny and hungry and everything, was what appeared to be Pongos. Now, I went to the end of the block and turned around and came back because I wanted to obviously pick her up and save her. She was gone. So I think that was just a little hello, don't forget. So click like, share your comments. If you've ever had anything like this happen to you, let me know. Let's talk about it. And otherwise, I'll see you next week. Carry on, intrepid investigators and explorers. I love you all.